Well, earlier I spoke to Gil Hoffman for more. He's a former chief political correspondent at the Jerusalem Post.
Oh, there's no doubt that the protests right now in Israel are having a huge impact on the policies of the Israeli government, both the quantitative protests and the qualitative ones. Quantitatively, we're talking about 27 weeks in a row of between 100 and 200,000 people taking to the streets. And as of the economy all protesting, that's all made Netanyahu be careful about taking any steps without consensus.
So the government is saying that it does have a mandate for these reforms, and they were on the cards, if you like, when they were voted in. So can we say that a majority of Israelis are supporting these reforms despite the scale of the protests?
So first of all, during the election campaign, there was one party further to the right that's part of the government that did campaign on changing the legal system. The Likud focused more on the leadership of Netanyahu and his ability to prevent Iran from getting nuclear weapons and to improve the economy and deal with security issues in general. They didn't bring up legal issues so much. The overwhelming majority of the people of Israel do support some kind of legal reforms, but this in particular, what they're doing now, apparently not.
And last month, the government suspended plans for the bill for talks with the opposition parties. What happened to that, and what are the opposition parties now saying?
Well, Netanyahu moved forward a step that the opposition opposed, going against what they had agreed on in their talks under the auspices of the president. And so the opposition suspended those talks. In retrospect, the opposition's decision might have been a mistake because they let Netanyahu off easy, really unshackled him from having to reach a compromise with them. And as a result, Netanyahu is moving forward, even though it's with a particular bill that they did speak about it and relatively agree on during those compromise talks. I expect the compromise talks to continue in one way or another sometime during the break that begins in August, that lasts all the way until the end of the Jewish holidays at the end of October. But it's amazing, Paul. Only one bill has passed into law so far.
And is there an off-ramp for Netanyahu, Gil, if he does want to buckle to the pressure and realise this isn't going to pass, or what do we think is going to happen?
Bill number 2 can be softened a little bit, and then he can tell the world this is what a consensus support, this is what we agreed on in the talks that were under the president's auspices, and then no bill will be passed again until after that recess. We're talking November now, which is more than a year after the Israeli government was elected. And it tends to be, Paul, that whatever you don't accomplish in your first year in office just isn't going to happen at all. So Netanyahu will be able to tell the credit agencies who are grading Israel right now, who are saying that they would lower Israel's credit rating if they don't do things by consensus, and to raise the credit rating if they do things by consensus, that he is doing what they mandated.
So what are your predictions for what will actually play out in Parliament next week when the votes are held? What do you expect to happen?
Compromise at the last minute and going off into the recess without killing each other, and no civil war in Israel.